Now, all of a sudden, Trump is interested in Nigeria. Now, this is a country that he called an S-hole country. Now, some say, oh, I don't really get offended by that. It's not about you getting offended, but you should know what a person thinks or feels about you and what their motives are or are not. All of a sudden now he cares about Nigerian Christians. So for those of you who are not familiar, in the northern part of Nigeria, it's mainly Muslims. And I want to say it's about the country split, I believe, in 60% Muslim, 40% Christian. So in the northern part of Nigeria, it's mostly Muslim, and then you have your 40% Christian population in the southern portion of Nigeria. And so what's happening is you've had groups like Boko Haram that have been basically slaughtering people. Now, a good majority of those people have been Christians and Muslims. Just want to pull up a quick report here. Let's see if I could find it. Yeah, so between 2020 and as of today, you've had about 347 Christians that have been slaughtered and about 417 Muslims that have been slaughtered. So, I mean, we're not trying to compete as to who had the most people slaughtered, but the point I'm trying to make is you have people from both religions, because Boko Haram, for those of you who are not familiar, they are an extreme Muslim militant group who have been terrorizing that part of the country for years. They have kidnapped young women, raped young women. They slaughtered families, taken out villages. They are not for anyone who's going to call themselves a moderate Muslim. So you have a lot of Muslims who get along with Christians and they live peacefully with Christians as well. And I think that should not be ignored. So you have these extremists who are slaughtering people on both sides of the aisle from a religious standpoint. So I think that should not be, a blind eye should not be turned to that. Now, Trump and his regime are trying to frame it as this is a one-sided issue. But what they're leaving out is the fact that where a lot of these conflicts are happening, there's a lot of resources in that area. There's a lot of gold, there's a lot of oil and other resources in that region. We all know that Nigeria is very rich in resources, and Nigeria, as well as the rest of the continent of Africa, feeds a lot of Europe and the Asia and the United States from a technology standpoint, from a heating, oil, just about everything you can think of, things that you need to actually run your cell phones. They need Africa. Now, so let me get back to my point here. Whenever you have regions that have resources that are rich like that, if you'll notice, there's always conflict. There's always some sort of war. There's always a corrupt government. It seems like they're rich in resources. And I've heard one guy from Nigeria say, well, we have all this oil and all these resources, and you're going to let the West in and take over your resources. We don't care. I mean, most people are poor and they're not going to have access to it anyway. Well, that is a colonized mind. That's a colonized mindset. You're playing exactly into what they want you to say, feel, and think because it benefits them. Now, what I want you to do is to think about this. Who's funding Boko Haram? Who's funding these extremist groups? Where are they getting the money for all of these guns from? Where are they getting the guns from? These guns aren't made in Africa. These guns aren't made in Nigeria. Where are they getting these things from? Where are they getting the money? These rifles and these munitions are very expensive. If you haven't seen it, I would ask you to look up Economic Hitman. It's a former CIA agent, and he will tell you that intelligence agencies and former agents like himself, what they are paid to do is go into countries. They fund militia groups like Boko Haram. They pay off crooked politicians, and they offer these loans to people or to leaders in this country, and they get you so tied up in debt. So they use debt to basically endear you to them and enslave you to them. They sow civil discord by funding rebel groups, and they pay off crooked politicians. And so a certain select group of people get the money, and the rest of the people, even though you are rich in resources, but you never see any of it. And so what does that do? That in turn makes the people distrust the government. They don't know who to turn to, who to trust. So now you got the West, who have funded all of this chaos and madness. They now created the problem, but now they're your knight in shining armor coming in on a white horse, offering you a solution. We're going to come in and we're going to save you, when they are the ones who created the problem anyway. They're sowing distrust and discord amongst your own people. In Nigeria, you don't even trust your own leaders. How can you? But what you're not seeing is the man behind the curtain who's pulling the levers. The economic hitmen, the secret intelligence groups who have been sent in to disrupt and destabilize your countries. I'm telling you right now, if you let Donald Trump come into your country, invade your country, it's going to be worse off than what it was before. I really admire Traoré in Burkina Faso. He has kicked out the West. He's kicked out the French. He's taking back all of the mines and the minerals and the resources from these Western countries and giving them over to his people. He's doing it the right way. My brothers in Nigeria, I'm telling you, don't fall for this scheme from Donald Trump. We know Donald Trump very well. What's he doing right here in this country? As a matter of fact, he's taking away the civil rights of your brothers like me, who my ancestors fought and died during the civil rights era to gain the civil rights that we have today. They're taking those things away. He is deploying the military to cities all across the U.S., which is against the U.S. Constitution. He's also pushing for a third term here, which is against the U.S. Constitution. If he pushes for a third term here or tries to stay in office, that is what we will call a coup or a coup d'etat. I'm telling you, Donald Trump is a devil. If you allow him into your country, it will be worse off than what it was before the United States comes in. So they're going to offer you one thing, but you're not going to get at all what you expect. Look at all the countries where the U.S. and Europe have been before. They went into the country. They're supposed to stop Al-Qaeda. When they leave, Al-Qaeda is now running the country. They're supposed to go in and fight ISIS. They're there for 10, 15, 20 years. What happens when they leave? ISIS now runs the country. So do you want your country to be invaded by the United States? And then the United States gets what they want after they finish raping the country, paying off crooked politicians who can now leave and go somewhere else after the country is running to the ground, and then Boko Haram or groups like Boko Haram are now running the entire country. Is that what you want for Nigeria, or do you want to be truly independent, get rid of these colonizers, kick out the West, and truly be independent? Do not let Donald Trump fool you with his false promises. So look, I've held you long enough. I really implore you to look up Economic Hitman. It will open your eyes and you will see things a whole lot differently, folks. My brothers, look, I love you, and I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart, do not be fooled by Donald Trump. He is not a Christian. He does not care about Africans. What Donald Trump cares about is his own ambitions. He wants your oil. He wants your minerals. Anything that can enrich him and the United States is what he wants. And not even the United States, just the elite in the United States. And what you don't know about Donald Trump, I'll leave you with this, is those who voted for him in the United States, they found out that he is a liar and he is a con man, which is something we, the brothers, have been trying to tell them for the longest time, but they had to mess around and find out. And now they regret their vote for him. So Donald Trump realizes this. The economy in the United States is terrible right now. People are laying off. People are losing jobs. People have been cut off from assistance. And I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump is actually on his way out of office as soon as these next elections are held. Well, he won't be able to run anyway, but he will actually end up losing his support in the Congress because it's going to flip Democrat, which he's in the Republican Party, so he's going to end up being flipped Democrat. And if that happens, they will impeach Donald Trump. So this is why now you're seeing him deploying military all across the United States to try to quell an insurrection. He's going to try to use military force against his own people here in the United States so that he can stay in office. This is the Donald Trump that some Nigerians are praising and saying, hey, yeah, this is a great thing. No, it's not a great thing. Only Nigeria can help Nigeria. Learn from our history. We were carried here in slave ships by these same people. Your country was colonized by these same people. And do you really think they now have had a change of heart and want to come in and help you? The devil comes in as an angel of light, but rest assured he's still the devil. All right, my brothers, you all be blessed, man. I'm praying for you in Nigeria. You all have a good one, man. Take care. Stay safe. Be vigilant.